back straightaway. The 1C of Steve Kent, the current point leader out of Woodsboro, Maryland. Also back with us tonight, car number 22, Jamie Swank out of Somerset, PA. Also the 65, the number 2 points man, Dylan Wilson out of Cassville, Pennsylvania. 15 being driven by Rick Potter out of Everett, Pennsylvania. 88Z of Isaiah Miller out of Greencastle, PA. Also on track, we've got the 30 of Cody Sumption. 99 of Cody Seitz also out there right now, as well as the 25 of Jeremy Mills as our green flag gets out. Late Model Sportsmen for your warm-ups. You can make your way to the staging area. Late Model Sportsmen for your warm-ups to the staging area, please.
Stay high in 4, stay high in 4. Up, green, green, green.
One of Late Model Sportsman drivers, and not the way that one of our drivers wanted to end things up. The 16 machine going up in smoke, a little bit of fluid coming out from the back of that car likewise.
drivers, green flag, back out, green, green, green.
Caution is out, debris on the front stretch. Debris on the front stretch.
All right, checker down in group number 130 of Cody Sumption. Tops on the board in that first group.
Go ahead, go to the pits, guys. This is over. Go ahead, go to the pits.
Well, friends, at this time, we could ask you to rise in the stands as you are able for tonight's invocation, to be followed by our national anthem. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so very much for the wonderful day that you have given us. As we head into the month of September, the thoughts of fall, the feel of fall is in the air. As we look at the beautiful blue skies we had earlier today, the brilliant sunshine, and slowly the changing of leaves, which is the changing of a season. And we also know that the end of our racing season is slowly coming to a close. But in addition to that, we thank you so very much for offering us the opportunity to be back here once again to enjoy some great racing, the sport we love so very much, and to be with family and friends. We ask you, please support our military and thank them very much all around this country and this great world of ours for protecting us and giving us the opportunity to do what we do each and every Saturday night. And that's the opportunity to sit here and enjoy one of the greatest sports on earth. Tonight, as our drivers prepare for their action tonight in their championship, please keep them safe out on the racetrack. Keep our drivers safe, our crew members, as well as our track officials safe, and help them do the best job to their abilities. We thank you so much for everything that you've given us today, and we certainly hope that you'll give us the opportunity to be back here next weekend to once again enjoy our racing and each other as family and friends. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Wilson had his mechanical issues last week in the heat race and unfortunately had to pack it up, so he'll start on the outside of row number 3 as he battles Steve Kent for the championship. Once again, 21 tallies behind from the 1C of Steve Kent. That will be one of the tightest battles we'll watch tonight, and it starts with the heat race action as they get off a turn 4. Green flag in the air tonight. And problems for the 30 of Brady Neff, quickly right down to the bottom of the racetrack. That allows Jamie Swank and Jason Giesemann to swallow him up and go on by. Swank will lead down the back straightaway early. Giesemann down to the low side. The 65 of Wilson already quickly up into third. And Giesemann, that low line, quickly gets him the number 1 spot. Wilson follows suit up into second. Swank to third. And the 99K of Cody Seitz, they are nose to tail pretty much front 4 as he work off turn number 2. Leaders coming back, lap number 2 of 5 in the books here in semi-late action. Giesemann, a car length over Wilson, another 3 or 4 back to Jamie Swank, and a car length back to the 99K of Cody Seitz. 48 of Tony Hughley right now rounding out the top 5. Two to go this time by in our first semi-late qualifier of the night, and Giesemann maintains that couple car lengths advantage over Wilson. Swank still holding off the efforts of Cody Seitz right now as he continues to put pressure on him. Now Cody to the bottom side. They'll draw even with each other down the back straightaway. 48 of Hughley still in 5th. 25 of Jeremy Mills back to the number 6 spot. White flag in the air for our first race tonight for Jason Giesemann. Takes it back into 1 and 2 for the final time. A 3-car length advantage as Cody Seitz now works to the inside of Jamie Swank and gets that 3rd position. Leaders back at 3 and 4 for the final time, and checkered number 1 coming up tonight, the 81. Former champion Jason Giesemann coming away with the victory in heat race number 1. 65, Dylan Wilson will be second. Cody Seitz, Jamie Swank, and the 48 of Tony Hughley. Looks like they'll be the top 5 in qualifier number 1. All right, field stacked up as we get set for the second and final 5-lap qualifier and semi-late action tonight. Steve Kent, your point leader. Rick Potter in the 15. Green flag back in the air. Field off into 1 and 2. Kent grabs the early lead from the point. Potter up top. It's going to be Miller climbing the banking right in the path. 2 other drivers, Jason Stoner being one of them. He goes into 3rd, Schneider into 4th. Miller now holding on to 5th for the moment as Kent will bring him back. And Miller continues to have some issues in the turns. In that 88Z machine, he'll climb the banking high in turn number 4. And now he'll drop it off into the pit area. Tough break for the sophomore driver. Meanwhile, Stoner quickly to the inside of Potter. He'll get that 2nd spot. Steve Kent's got about a 5-6 car length advantage as they work back for lap number 2. And Schneider holding on for dear life in that 69, spins it over in turn number 4.
Yellow turn.
And had recovered, but comes to a stop, and caution comes out with 2 laps complete. He's back, and he's got the point leader on the inside of him. The 1C of Steve Kent, 15 of Rick Potter, and the 83 of Kearns. They'll line back up in row number 2. 2 of her 5 complete here in qualifier number 2 for the semi-lates. No Kent down bottom. It's going to be Stoner. He's got it wound up top. They'll stay even for the moment, but now Kent trying to draw away. Using the horses down low, and he'll reassume the number 1 position as they'll come back for the 2 to go sign this time. Stoner still staying up high. Here he comes, trying to see if he can draw even down the front straightaway. 83 of Kearns holding on to 3rd position, watching the battle side by side, and little by little, Stoner chipping away on that high side. Now Kent with the horses trying to draw even. Kent rubbing the guardrail down bottom, and he'll grab the number 1 spot. White flag back in the air. Final lap for the 1C of Steve Kent as he works it down into 3 and 4. Stoners in his tire tracks, and Steve Kent will come away with the 2nd qualifying event victory. Stoner will be 2nd. Kearns and Potter, they'll be the top 4 with the 67 of William Ecton Sr. rounding out the top 5. So once again coming into tonight, Sean Shoemaker with a 33-point edge over the 28Z of Ryan Zook. Another 49 back to the Wesley Bone Brake machine. Zook will get things started. He's going to see if he can move up in the order and get a good finish here in the first qualifier as Ciccarelli strikes out to the lead. It was 2 by 2 stacked up behind him. Dale Murphy, the 72D, quickly down to the bottom side, catches Ciccarelli and now pulls to the inside. Zook in the 28Z already up into 3rd. Going to be Friese of the 82 holding on to 4th. And Murphy, the leader of lap number 1, but Charlie Schaefer spins in turn 3 and 4. Of the first qualifier tonight, 8 laps again the distance. Top 5 to transfer here in late model sportsman heat race number 1. Dale Murphy, Ray Ciccarelli on the front row as we get set to go back green. Two by 2 this time. Going to be Murphy down to the bottom side, grabbing that early lead. Ciccarelli into 2nd. Zook to the inside of Andy Friese. Now Ciccarelli and Zook trying. He knows what's on the line. The 28Z moving up into 2nd spot here on the 2nd lap. Side by side, Friese will grab 3rd. Going to be Ciccarelli challenged to the bottom side by the 88 of Barry Miller. And now Zook to the inside of Murphy. He'll grab the number 1 spot off turn 2. Freese all over the rear deck lid of the 72D likewise as he's looking for second. Leaders coming back. Lap number 3 on the board. Zook in the 28Z is going to lead them. Going to be Murphy in second. Freese in third. Miller, a very tight top 4. And Danny Atherton from the back of the field is up into 5th. Murphy a little out of sorts off that second turn. That puts Freese and Miller right there. Freese diving to the inside. He tries to gun for the number 2 position as Ryan Zook now begins to check out as we get halfway in the first late model sportsman qualifier. Top 5 again to transfer. So again, Andy Freese, Dale Murphy, Barry Miller, and Danny Atherton. They're the top 5 and no challenge in that transfer spot for the moment. Atherton's got some breathing room over the 12 of Charlie Schaefer. Good battle, still going for second. Freese up top. It's going to be Murphy down low as Andy Freese grabbing the number 2 position back into turn number 1 and 2. Murphy still having a little bit of issues handling wise through the corners as he's got the 88 of Barry Miller right on the rear deck lid. 19 of Atherton about 5 car lengths back as Miller now dives to the inside trying to get third. 2 to go this time meanwhile for Ryan Zook. Half-turn lead for the driver to Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. He's got 33 tallies to catch up on Sean Shoemaker tonight as the 35 of Bryce Winger heads off into the pit area. And we've got the white flag, maybe caution coming out. Sean Shoemaker tonight in the battle for the championship. And then in 2 weeks, make it 3 actually, it's going to be the Clash by the Creek. And these late model sportsman drivers will be back for their big finale along with the IMCA Race Saver Sprints and the UMP Modifieds for a great 3-card program. But tonight, 32 drivers vying for some qualifying spots. Green flag back in the air. Going to be Zook on the inside. Andy Freese, good run off of turn number 2. They stay dead even down the back straightaway. Freese slowly beginning to merge in front as they have a great battle side by side. Zook now to the bottom side, reassumes the number 1 position. White flag in the air. Freese to second, Miller third. Atherton, he'll get off that transfer spot and up into 4th. And the problem is for Dale Murphy because Charlie Schaefer was able to get around him. And now it's Schaefer, an early race spinner, has rebounded for a transfer position. Checkered in the air. Zook will come home, the winner of qualifier number 1. Drag race to the line. Freese will get second. Barry Miller, Danny Atherton, and Charlie Schaefer. They will be your top 5 in late model sportsman qualifier number 1. In late model sportsman seat 3, you can make your way to the staging area. Zach Kaufman in the 08 up front, the 99C of Cody Lear joining him on that front row. Piper in the 21, big heat race win a week ago, and right back in action. So he'll look to see if he can get another heat race qualifying win from the inside of that second row as we get the green flag. Kaufman to the bottom. He'll grab the lead. Lear in the 99C has it wound up and tries to stay right to the outside. Piper into third. Burkholder and Upperman. They'll be side by side for the number 4 spot. Lear just barely holds on to it. Way up there and had it turned sideways. Holds on to it, but it will cost him 1 position as Piper puts the 29 or make it the 21 in the second spot. All the while, the 08 of Kaufman has the lead. Going to be Piper and Lear. They're the top 3. Upperman to the 27 and the 77 to Burkholder. They're the early top 5. Top 3 pretty secure. Upperman is got Burkholder right behind him. And right now the transfer position okay. The 5.56 of Eric Cronies trying to close. He is about 5 car lengths back in the number 6 position as they come back for lap 3. Burkholder battling hard with Upperman trying to get off that transfer spot as Cronies not that far behind. And Upperman now climbs the banking a little out of shape. That opens the door and that'll put Burkholder up in the 4th position. Meanwhile, Kaufman in the 08. He takes halfway this time by a good 6-7 car length lead over the 21 of Jacob Piper. And And right now, Cronies with some issues off at turn number 4. Got a little out of shape, and Upperman also is having some handling issues. Upperman for the moment in 5th. Cronies about 10 car lengths back in 6th, then the 76 of Mason Straight as they're trying to transfer in through the heats. All the while, it's going to be Piper in the 21 closing up on Coffin. That was lap number 5, completed that time by. It's still Piper working the low side. Coffin up top, the door's open, and Piper says, I'm coming through. The 21 right to the inside. Can't quite make the pass this time. He'll hug the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 1 and 2. But going to be the 08 of Coffin with the preferred line, but caution will pull that battle off as the 76 of Mason Straight spins it in turn 4. Good battle before the caution came out. Let's see what happens on this resumption of the race. Lear in the 99, followed by the 77 of Burkholder, who was outside. Upperman for the moment, he's got the transfer position. Cronies and Straight back behind him. 2 laps to go here in the second late model sportsman qualifying. Green back out. Coffin had been working the high side. He and Piper almost make side-by-side contact, and Burkholder with a good restart. He'll power the 77 up into 3rd. Lear back to 4th, and Upperman trying to see if he can draw some distance away from the 2 behind him and hold on to that 5th and final spot. White flag in the air. Coffin, the leader. Piper, Burkholder, Lear, and Upperman. They are the top 5 for the final lap. Everybody single file down the back chute, and this time it's going to be Kaufman that is able to stretch that advantage out as he works off turn number 4. Zach Kaufman will check in for the second late model sportsman qualifier of the night. 21 of Jacob Piper in 2nd spot. Going to be the 77 of Randy Burkholder. Good run for 3rd. 99 of Cody Lear, the 27 of Kyler Upperman. They'll be the top 5 that transfer into the success. Now it's going to be Sean Shoemaker's turn, and of course Wesley Bonebrake, 3rd of the series points. He'll be out in race number 4 coming up shortly. Field stacking up 2 by 2 as we get set for the next 8-lapper and look for the next 5. Well, green is out as going to be Siebert to the high side. Moser down low, and Lear just carving him up right up through the middle. The 151 of Kyle Lear already up into 2nd. Shoemaker 3 wide. He's on the bottom side, battling for 3rd. And Lear trying to go from the back to the front. He'll go all the way up to 2nd here on lap number 1. Going to be Moser your leader. Lear in 2nd. Siebert holding on to 3rd. The 4M of Kyle Moser in 4th. Another 3 wide battle. It's going to be Shoemaker down bottom, Zekman up top. They swallow up Moser and move up into the 4th and 5th positions. In the meantime, Lear to the outside of the 14A of Matt Adams. Trying to make it happen off of turn number 2. He likes the top shelf, and he will take it. The 151 of Kyle Lear now in control. Adams in 2nd. Shoemaker up to 3rd. Siebert 4th. And now it's going to be Moser. Hey, that 4M machine, he makes up the top 5 as they come back for lap number 3. Once in front, Lear now begin to stretch it out, but caution unfortunately coming out here at lap 3. Forward debris cools them down just a little bit as we're 1 lap shy of the halfway point. 4th and final late model sportsman qualifier coming up to be followed by the 3 pure stock qualifiers and then 2 for the UMP mods. Now Lear in Severino Park, Maryland. The 14A of Matt Adams hanging tough on the outside. Your point leader, Sean Shoemaker in the 44. He'll be 3rd on the restart as we get set to go back to green. Lear takes him into 1 and 2. Going to be Shoemaker grabbing that number 2 position. Siebert working hard on Adams and taking advantage of that down to the bottom side. Here comes the 4M of Moser. He was back at the transfer spot when they started, and now he's moved himself up 2 spots to 3rd as they come back for halfway. But Moser's got trouble. Adams to his outside, and another 3-wide battle further back. Trayton Lee, Dan Zeckman, and Siebert, they are jockeying for positions big time. And for the moment, it was Zeckman that got 5th. And as soon as I say that, here comes Trayton Lee down to the inside. He'll try to get the transfer position in turn 3 and 4. So in the previous 2 races, we had a caution at lap number 6. And by the time it was all said and done, 5th place wasn't under attack. It definitely is tonight. Top 4 drivers right now secured. Zeckman's got the number 5 spot. Lee wants it. 2 laps to go. It's Lear and Shoemaker. 2-time winner and the point leader checking out. Moser back in 3rd. Adams 4th. Zeckman, he's in the number 5 spot, trying to distance himself from Trayton Lee. And all the while, it's going to be the 44 Shoemaker closing the gap up on Kyle Lear just a little bit more as he worked it off at turn number 4. White flag in the air. Car length separation between the top 2. Good half straightaway lead. Rest of the field coming behind them. It's Moser, Adams, Zeckman, and Lee. Nose to tail for the final lap. Zeckman carrying it up the banking, but Trayton Lee can't take advantage of it. And off at turn number 4, here comes Kyle Lear. He'll check in. The late model sportsman win almost left the door open for Sean Shoemaker, who will come home in 2nd spot. And back to the line, going to be Moser, followed by Matt Adams and Dan Zeckman. They'll be the 5 that transfer into a very competitive 3rd heat race for late model sportsmen. As we mentioned, Myers had won a late model sportsman race earlier this year. To show the competitiveness and how much you have to be on top of your game, the very next week, DJ had to go through the Consi to get into the field. He's also doing double duty, running a modified. Brian Booz in the B2 behind him. He's been close in late model sportsman action. He's got a great late model win this year. The 00 of Cable, he's doing double duty modifieds, and Bone Break 3rd in the points. A lot of good stuff going here in the 3rd and make it 4th and final late model sportsman qualifier. Myers grabs that lead. Going to be Booz using that low side to grab around the 41 of Jake Moser and get that 2nd spot. Bone Break acting 4th. And Palmer right now holding on to the number 5 position. Myers comfortably by a few car lengths over Booz. He's also got about 5 car lengths over Bone Break. Now it's going to be Moser, the 41, trying to hold on to a transfer position. For the moment, he's got 4th. Palmer is 5th, and here comes a 00 of Ray Cable, trying to see if he can qualify into the late model sportsman field. He's going to be a busy driver tonight, as well as Myers. And he's working on Moser off of that 2nd turn. For the moment, Moser's got it covered as everybody pretty much single file as they come back for lap 3. Myers leads them down the straightaway. It's going to be Booz closing the gap, and Cable not done. He wants to get in and not have to worry about the B-main. Top 4 are secure. It's Cable and Moser. They're fighting for the transfer spot. Further back is going to be Cable, the 00 to the inside as the field takes the halfway side. DJ Myers in the 70, the B2 of Brian Booz, the 37F of Bone Break, and the 86 of Palmer, the 00 of Cable now moves himself up into 5th. Booz slowly closing that gap up on your leader as they work it back into 1 and 2. DJ's got that preferred bottom line covered. Booz trying to get in there, and then he lost some momentum. That brings Wes Bone Break right up behind him by about a car length. Palmer and Cable, the top 5, and they are secure in their spots as they'll come back for 2 laps to go in the 4th and final late model sportsman qualifier. Pure Stocks heat race number 1. You should be in the staging area. No white flag in the air for DJ Myers this time. He had a little bit of a challenge from Booz a lap ago. That door got shut, and as a result, Myers was able to skip away just a little bit. Bone Break at the 37F, still very comfortably in 3rd, followed by Palmer and Cable. They look like they're solid as the final 5 to get into the heat race action tonight. DJ Myers in the Greencastle, PA, takes the victory in the 70 machine. Booz will be 2nd. Bone Break, Palmer, and Cable will be your top 5. So the deck shuffled a little bit by the misfortunes of a few. So we get a father and son tandem up front. Keith Reed, the point leader, on the inside of Blake Reed, who's had a very strong season this year. 71 to Carter Schenk, and the 03 of Danny Walters back in row 2. The 9 to Jason Wilkins. And then the 47 to Boyer. They'll make up the 6 drivers in heat race number 1. Green is out as Keith Reed tries to grab that lead, and will do so. Walters right on the rear bumper of the 8R of Blake Reed. Carter Schenk also looking as Walters squeezes just in front of Schenk and tries to get down to the inside. 2x2 racing from second on back as Keith Reed will lead lap number 1. Blake Reed fends off the efforts of Walters. He'll hold on to second. Wilkins to that number 9. He works the high side and looks to see if he can claim the 3rd position. 71 is Schenk looking on back there in the number 5 spot as the field comes back for lap number 2. Again, Pure Stocks, heat race number 2. You should be at the staging area. Pure Stocks, heat race number 2. Wilkins in the number 9. He started dead last in the field. A very strong contender always. He's won some many special events here at Hagerstown Speedway to the inside of Blake Reed. He'll get the number 2 spot with 2 laps to go. And Walters also gets around Reed likewise. That will move him up into 3rd. Keith Reed with the lead, but only by a couple of car lengths as they work midpoint down the back straightaway. A lap and a half away from the first checkered flag in Pure Stock competition tonight. Now Walters climbs the bank a little bit. Blake Reed trying to reassume a little bit of what he lost as they're side by side for 3rd. And Wilkins isn't done. He's chipping away on that high side a little bit on Keith Reed as the leaders head down the back straightaway for the final time. Car length separation between the top 2. Nose to tail for 3rd and 4th as they make their way in 3 and 4. Wilkins now to the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to win the drag race, but it will be Keith Reed holding on for the Pure Stock qualifier. Wilkins will be 2nd. Danny Walters wins the battle with Blake Reed for 3rd. And the 47 to Kevin Boyer makes up the top 5 in Pure Stock qualifier number 1. All right, so again, Fisher in that 32, traditionally white colors on that car. Last couple of weeks changed things up. And he's on the inside of the 06 of Hutton. Going to be Catlett in the 45X down to the bottom side. The 12 of Thompson alongside him as we get set for the second 5-lap qualifier. All right, field in 1 and 2, and they switch positions. It's going to be Hutton now down to the inside. Fisher a little bit fishtailing off at turn number 2. That keeps Hutton right to his inside. 32W Robert Wilson right there in 3rd as Hutton grabs the lead, and they are leaning on each other pretty good. Hutton will be the leader. Fisher in 2nd, Wilson 3rd. Here comes the 45 of Lincoln Sutphin trying to challenge down to the inside. A little out of shape upon entrance into turn number 1 and 2. That's going to open the door for Yonker to the inside. He'll make 1 spot move. He'll make 2 down the back straightaway and up into 3rd. All the while, Hutton in the 06 now stretching that lead out over Fisher. Yonker's got the 3rd spot. Wilson bobbles a little bit, and Sutphin was right on the rear bumper. He had to check up for the moment. 45 holding on to that number 5 position as they'll come back for 2 laps to go in the second Pure Stock qualifier. Spinner in turn number 4. That'll be the 32 of Robert Wilson. He'll loop it off in that 4th turn area.
Yellow, yellow, stay high in 3 and 4. Stay high in 3 and 4.
Coming up to wrap up our racing action here in 2024. All right, 3 of the 5 complete. Hutton and Fisher, they're on the front row as we get set to go back to green. Green back out, going to be Hutton down bottom, Fisher up top, and now it's going to be the 75P of Dustin Proctor. That caution helped him out big time. He's now on the outside of Yonker, 2x2 racing for the front 4 spots with the 45 of Lincoln Sutphin watching from behind as they work their way back into 3 and 4. Back to the stripe for the white flag. Drag race, the edge to Fisher that time by. And Hutton will dig down low on the bottom side and now slide up the banking. Fisher with a crossover move to the bottom side. The drag race is on down the back straightaway. Here on the final lap, Yonker the 31 trying to close the gap up a little bit more. Sutphin and Proctor side by side for the lead. Here goes Fisher, but it's going to be Hutton having a little bit better handle off turn 4, taking the checkered flag in the second qualifier. 32 of Fisher will come home in second. 31 of Yonker, the 45 of Sutphin, and the 75 of Proctor. They will be the top 5 in qualifying. 5 very strong cars get set for the third and final pure stock qualifier. Again, UMP Mods for heat race number 1. You can make your way to the staging area. UMP Modified heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. In front row, grabbing that early lead. Thompson getting swallowed up. Going to be Fogel in his second. A 3-wide battle further back. Sumption and Faust move high and low around the 12 machine, with Faust moving up into third here on the initial lap. .30 of Sumption taking advantage of a couple of guys swinging way wide. Right now it's going to be Fogel up top. And that battle for second position, Faust back and forth and Thompson fifth as Lindenberg checks out early. Well, as Lindenberg continues to draw away, the battle for second still a good one. Fogel trying to win it on the outside. Sumption down bottom, and Faust just trying to figure out which way to go. And he's going to try to make a hole that may not be there, but he's going to squeeze it right in there in a 3-wide battle for the number 2 spot. Back to the stripe for 2 to go. Faust to the outside. Cody Sumption gets that position. Now tucks it to the inside of Fogel. White flag all the while in the air for Randy Lindenberg out of Winchester, Virginia, the opening day feature winner in pure stock action. Missed a few weeks of racing, then returned and has been solid, but hasn't found his way back to victory lane. Evan Faust has kind of owned that one. He's got 6. Keith Reed with 3 wins this year, and as we mentioned, Nathaniel Yonker winning 2 weeks ago. As he worked off a 3 and 4, checkered in the air, and the Winchester driver looks to put himself back in the number 1 spot. Randy Lindenberg in the 17L winning the final pure stock qualifier. The 78 of Evan Faust, the 88 of Nick Fogel, and the 30 of Cody Sumption. They will be the top 4 with the 12 of David Thompson rounding out the order in pure stock qualifier number 3. Laps are the distance here in our UMP Mod Heat races. All drivers will qualify. Let's see how it works here in Heat race number 1. Vance Williams, Ray Cable from the front row as we get the green flag. Cable quickly grabbing that lead. Corbin down to the bottom as Williams climbs the banking. He holds him side by side for third. Top 2 now peel away as Cable leads him down into 3 and 4. One of 6 in the books. Cable by a couple of car lengths over Corbin. Going to be Holzin in third. Then the 34 of Cody Williams up into the number 4 spot. Williams from the pole holding on to 5th. Cody Oliver, the one-time winner, back in 6th position as they come back for lap 2. Cable now beginning to stretch that advantage out a little bit. Oliver finally around Williams, the 55C, trying to move up in the order a little bit more. Halfway on the board, 3 in the books and 3 to go here in the first qualifier. Corbin about a half turn back in the number 2 position, comfortable over Rick Olson, but here comes the 34 of Cody Williams trying to close up that gap. Cody Oliver in the 55C making the top 5 as 2 to go. The indication this time by. Top 2 secure. Again, Williams still working on Holson for 3rd as they come back for the white flag in the first of 2 heat events for the mods. Still going to be Holson protecting that low side in 3rd spot. Cody Williams right there in 4th. Oliver holding on to 5th as our leaders head down the back straightaway for the final time. And Cable on the 90, having a good night so far. He'll check in for the UMP Mod win. 25 of Mike Corbin will come home in 2nd. Holson to the 18 3rd. 34 Cody Williams to the 55C of Cody Oliver will be the top 5. Of Reese Fetter from Elliotsburg, Pennsylvania. And the 2P of Michael Pappas out of Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. Final row, the 11W, Bo Akey from Everett, Pennsylvania, and your point leader, the 747 of Jimmy Jesmer out of Pasadena, Maryland. Lee, Jake Moser, Ray Ciccarelli, Mason Strait, Brandon Seberg, Pat McNeil, Bryce Winger, Brian Rost, Lee Ziegler, and Tyler Bowman. They'll be the drivers gunning for those 4 spots. Again, late model sportsman B-main drivers. You can make your way to the staging area. Green is out in our final heat race of the night. Going to be Spike Moore grabbing that early lead. DeHaven and Myers side by side. Trouble behind him. One driver spinning by his lonesome. That'll be the 22 of Reese Fetter off at turn number 2. The restart here on turn 4. 6 laps again the distance in our final UMP Mod Heat event. Okay, Green back out against Spike Moore grabbing the early lead. TJ DeHaven had a good battle side by side earlier with Myers when they first started. He eliminated that battle very quickly. The 11W Bo Akey, he quickly moves up into 3rd. Myers having his own worries up in the tie groove. Trying to find a spot as Altabelli is down bottom. The 95 will move up into 4th here on lap number 1. So it will be Moore by about 5 car lengths over to Haven. Another 5 back to Akey. Then Altabelli. Pappas to the inside of Myers. And that will put the number 2 Pappas up into 5th. Again, late model sportsman B-main drivers. You should be at the staging area. Late model sportsman B-main drivers to the staging area, please. Pappas and Myers having their battle as DJ trying to come to life. He had lost several positions in the 70 machine. Now he's fighting for the number 5 spot. Pappas are making the 95 with Altabelli up top. Leaders coming by halfway that time by. It's all Spike Moore, the one-time winner. Picked up the win on opening night. Actually a 2-time winner in modified competition this year. DeHaven comfortably in 2nd. Bo Akey from further back in the field 3rd. Pappas in 4th. And Altabelli the top 5 with 2 to go. Well, field evenly strung out down the back chute as the white flag about to go in the air for the 8W of Spike Moore as he is looking in search of victory number 3 here at Hagerstown Speedway this year. Back to the stripe. Mentioned that top 5, then the 22 of Reese Fetter, the 747, your point leader, Jimmy Jesmer working his way around. Jesmer's had his fair share of mechanical woes here at Hagerstown and also at Potomac, and just trying to baby that car to a championship run. And of course, it's going to be Spike Moore coming away, the opening night winner, picking up the heat race win DeHaven will be in second, Akey in third, Altobelli fourth, and Pappas will be the top 5. Laps of distance, top 4 to transfer into the 24-car field from late model sportsmen and their 20-lapper coming up later on tonight as the field gets stacked up in turn number 3 and 4. Murphy and Crony bring them back to the stripe. It'll be Murphy. He was in a transfer spot in his heat race, but a late caution hurt his chances. And now he's going to try to make the most of it as he bolts out to a pretty good lead. 49 of Ray Ciccarelli quickly up into second spot. Going to be Cronies holding on to third for the moment. Down to the bottom side. Here comes Moser in the 41 with the 2T of Trayton Lee looking on. 1 of 10 in the books. And trouble further back. Several cars spinning. It's going to be 4 of them.
Yellow,
Lee Ziegler,
yellow,
the 27,
yellow.
one of them, the 76 of Mason Strait. Looks like the 1S of Seabird. And the 000 of Pat McNeil, the 4 cars involved. The lights are out. 1 lap is completed. The 10 to make it up. It's going to be Murphy in the 72D, Ciccarelli in the 49, Moser in the 41. Cronies right now they're the front 4, looking to get into tonight's field. Semi-lates for your feature event to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your feature event to the staging area, please. Green back out, and again Murphy stretches that advantage as he gets around Ciccarelli. Moser in the 41. Here comes Lee. He was right on the cusp of getting into a heat race, but just couldn't get up enough. Just outside of that top 5 in the heat race competition. Right now sticks it down to the bottom side of Cronies and grabs the number 4 spot. Murphy in control. Ciccarelli and Moser. They're the top 3. Make it Trayton Lee possibly. The 2T looking to the inside of Moser. They make contact down the back straightaway. And the 41 of Moser comes out on the short end of that one. He'll lose several positions. Lee moving up into third as Murphy brings him back for lap number 3. Ciccarelli now second. Trayton Lee in third. Cronies in the number 4 spot. Bowman and Moser side by side for 5th. And Ziegler spins it in turn number 1 in the 27
low in
machine.
1 and 2. Low in 1 and 2. That is 2 for you, Bucky. You're done.
Front row. Still 7 circuits to go as the 76 of Mason Strait makes his way back out onto the track. 2T of Trayton Lee. 5.56 of Eric Cronies. Right now they are the front 4. Green back out for Murphy, who's led from the outset. Ciccarelli and Lee, the top 3. Now it's going to be the Hornets' nest back where Cronies is. Bowman in the 79. He looks to the inside. Further up, Lee trying to get to the inside of Ciccarelli. All about moving up a little bit further in the order in the feature lineup. And Trayton Lee looks to get that number 2 spot off turn 4 and does. Cronies for the moment. He holds on to that number 4 spot as Bowman continues to put the pressure on to the 79. Murphy, meanwhile, almost a quarter-half straightaway lead as he'll come back for halfway here in tonight's late model sportsman B main. On Cronies with some trouble. He had gotten his car out of shape, and Siebert, trying to avoid contact, gets in the back of him, and that sends Cronies up into the outside wall here off turn 4. Up and let you downstairs. After that, they'll have their 20-lapper, followed by the 15-lapper for the Pure Stocks and the 20-lap finale for the UMP Mods. All on championship weekend here at Hagerstown. Well, the restart, Murphy and Lee, no problem. Ciccarelli falls into the clutches of a couple of other drivers. Bowman and Moser both able to get around. Now Siebert does likewise as the 76 of Mason Strait pulls it back in the pit area. 6 laps will be complete this time by Murphy, Lee, Moser, and Bowman. They're the top 4 with the 1S of Brandon Siebert next in line. 49 is Ciccarelli, then the 000, Pat McNeil. The three drivers along with Siebert on the outside looking in as everybody pretty much single file as they come back for lap number 7. All Dale Murphy in the 72D. It's been his way all night. Trayton Lee is comfortably in second. The 41 of Moser making a good comeback, and again caution on the speedway. One driver down low in turn number 2 looks to be the 1S of Brandon Siebert. So another late race caution coming out. Again, Dale Murphy's answered the bell every time, no matter who the challenger's been to him. Trayton Lee and the 2T will tuck into second, Moser third. Tyler Bowman fourth. McNeil now moves the 000 up into fifth with Ciccarelli rounding out the top 6 drivers. Single file, about a car length separation amongst them all as they come back for 2 laps to go. White flag coming out is the 49 of Ciccarelli. Now we'll pull it off into the pit area. Murphy, meanwhile, takes the white flag. Trayton Lee comfortably in second. Going to be the 41 of Moser, holding on to third. And then the 19 to make it the 79 of Bowman. They are the 4 drivers looking to get in as Dale Murphy takes the B-main in tonight's late model sportsman action. 2T of Trayton Lee gets in. The 41 of Jake Moser and the 79 of Tyler Bowman will be the final 4 transfer drivers tonight. Weekend, it's going to be the Great Late Models, these semi-lates and more, and the Pure Stocks at the Zach Reed Tribute. Qualifying on Friday night, and then the feature events coming up on Saturday here at Hagerstown Speedway. As the field makes their way up through turn number 3 and 4. Green flag in the air in our first main event of the night. '21 of Jason Stoner, the multi-time winner from a year ago, trying to grab that lead to the inside of Rick Potter down the back straightaway. 3 wide battle. Going to be Wilson right up the middle, and here comes Steve Kent behind him. A lot of jockeying for positions further back in the field, and one spinner. And that looks to be the 48 of Tony Hughley, spinning high. One other driver trying to avoid contact. That might be the 88Z of Isaiah Miller, high in turn number 4. Involved in the back, that's the 48 of Hughley and the 88Z of Miller, so that shuffles the deck a little bit up towards the front, and of course puts Wilson and Kent a little bit closer towards each other as well as we get set for the restart off at turn number 4. Wide battle back for 5th position. Steve Kent was back there, and they got through it clean as a whistle. As they come back, Stoner will be your leader. Potter in second, Wilson third, Kearns in fourth, Kent goes to 5th. Field off in turn number 1 and 2. Stoner in the 21 heading down the back straightaway. One-time feature winner this year, multi-time winner a year ago. Wilson in second spot, trying to see if he can get that championship and pick up his 4th victory of the season, but he's got Steve Kent not far behind. Potter will be 3rd. Kent now moves up into 4th, and Kearns in the 83 in 5th position. Top 5 very tightly bunched together, make it 6. The 22 of Jamie Swank is right there, and a spinner, that's going to be Snyder in the 69.
Yellow, yellow,
caution
yellow.
coming out here on lap number 2.
Stay high in 1 and 2.
In row number 2, Kearns and Swank make up the 3rd row. 13 circuits still to go here in tonight's semi-late main event. Field back to green as Steve Kent was almost looking to see if he could make it 3 wide in between the wall and Dylan Wilson, and he's still thinking about it because Stoner's down to the bottom side. Wilson will grab the lead around Stoner, and here comes Kent to the outside for second spot. Potter and Swank, they'll be side by side, and down to the inside. Stoner trying to force that move, but Dylan Wilson's going to take the lead. Kent will get second, Stoner back to third, Potter in fourth, and Swank now in the top 5. 81 of Jason Giesemann also trying to get up in the mix. He's up into the number 6 position, followed by the 30. As the leaders make their way back, 4 laps will be complete this time by Wilson, Kent, Stoner. They're the top 3. The challenge right now on for 4th. And for the moment, Swank is going to try and see if he can move back to the inside of Potter down the backstretch. Giesemann looking on back there in 6th position as the trio works their way back. Lap number 5, a third of the way through tonight's Simulate Championship event. Wilson to the 65, couple of car lengths over Kent. All he can do is the very best he can right now and have nobody in front of him, but can't do much about who's behind him. And Steve Kent, the point leader, trying to shadow the 65 and keep him well in his sights as they work their way back to the stripe. Stoner in the 21. He's a few car lengths back. That ongoing battle for 4th continuing. Potter has it. Swank down to the inside. And then behind him going to be Giesemann, followed by the Brady Neff machine. So Wilson comfortable right now, about 5 car lengths advantage over Kent. Another 10 back to Stoner, 10 or 15 back to Potter and Swank as he continues to be Neff and Giesemann. They'll be side by side for the number 6 spot. Halfway was on the board that time by as we're in the second half of tonight's 15-lap main event. Late Model Sportsman drivers be getting ready. We will be bringing you on the front straightaway for your meet and greet here shortly as Dylan Wilson brings it back to the stripe in search of victory number 4. We mentioned 21 the gap between he and Steve Kent, but Kent was on top. Wilson actually looking for victory number 5. Kent's looking for number 4 this year. Stoner, the 21, he is still back there in 3rd position. Swank got the battle 1 over Rick Potter. He's now up into 4th. And then you've got Neff along with the 81 of Giesemann. They're back in there as well. 5 laps to go here in tonight's Simulate main event. Top 2, still only a couple of car lengths separation as he worked it off a turn number 4. 11 laps complete, and Steve Kent still in search of that victory.
Yellow,
and
stay
caution
high in 3
out on
and
the
4.
speedway.
Stay high in 3 and 4.
It's like one driver down low in the 3-4 turn. Yellow out here at lap number 11. Up at 3 and 4 as we get set to go back to green, and Steve Kent drag races down to the inside, trying to win that battle with Dylan Wilson down to turn number 1 and 2, and he is going to try to use as low a groove as he possibly can. Wilson trying to pinch him down, and Wilson for the moment's got the lead, but Kent showing the horses he'll draw even or try to down into turn 3 and 4. Wilson just about a lane off of that guardrail, and for the moment it's going to be Wilson assuming or reassuming control. Kent right on his rear bumper. 12 laps complete, 3 to go, and it's down to these 2 drivers in the battle for the Simulate Championship. Wilson number 2 coming in, Kent the point leader. Car length and a half separation between those 2 drivers as they work it back in turn 3 and 4. 2 to go. The indication this time by. Ken not giving up. He just wants to go game, set, and match if he can. But right now, Dylan Wilson's got him covered. Couple of car length separation as he works it back into 3 and 4. White flag is in the air, and the championship is held in the balance right now as Dylan Wilson works his way back to the stripe. Kent trying to win that championship, keeping Wilson right there in front of him and in his sights as they work 3 and 4, make it 1 and 2 for the final time. Stoner still in third, Swank in fourth. And going to be the 30 of Brady Neff rounding out the top 5 as the leaders go down into turn number 3 and 4. Dylan Wilson in search of yet another victory. Tough break last week, but Wilson rebounds in a big way to take his 5th Simulate feature event victory of the season here at Hagerstown. Steve Kent in the 1C coming home in second. Looks to unofficially win that championship. The 21 of Jason Stoner winding up in third. 22 of Jamie Swank and the 03 of Brady Neff are in the top 5. Hagerstown Speedway this year. Folks, give it up for Dylan Wilson, your semi-late winner tonight here at Hagerstown Speedway. 4 stickers on the side of that car. Number 5 is going to be put on there. Dylan, it's been a range of emotions for you actually most of this season, but the last couple of weeks, and I know after that victory and the good news that you guys shared in victory lane, that was great. I know it had to be heartbreaking for you last week, though.
Yeah, we were looking at them points all week. I wish we wouldn't have rained out last week. I feel we had a chance to get it back, but I mean, that's the name of the game, is you got to finish every race, and the short of it is I didn't, and he did. So congrats to Steve. I mean, he's been fast all season, and it's definitely showed. I feel we gave it away, but that's just the way it goes. I mean, luck of the draw.
Well, and it was good to have Jason Stoner back tonight as well, because that was a very stout machine back in 2023. He got a ton of victories, a very strong car. But again, you guys are so evenly matched out there, because even on all those restarts, Steve's right there, but you guys are so evenly matched and you edged him out for that 5th victory.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot make a mistake, especially when you're up front with these guys. I mean, I think here has the best weekly competition around, especially in these divisions, and to be able to stand up here as much as we have this year means a lot. We would have liked the championship, but I mean, I think we proved we're plenty fast, and Steve just was more consistent than we were, so congrats to him.
No doubt about it, and I know you got to think of the bigger picture. Something good and personal is coming in your life with that little one coming, and I know that's really got to fill your heart.
Yeah, it definitely gives me something to look forward to, and hopefully it should be due right around the start of practices or race season, so hopefully we'll have him here with us next year.
Dylan, an incredible season. I hope we see you back here for the Nationals, but in the meantime, who would you like to thank for what's gotten you here this year?
The biggest thing, like always, my dad, Brian, Jim, Zane, Chantel, my girlfriend. I couldn't do this without them. My grandparents, her parents, and her entire family. Heck, half her family's here, but just everybody that supports me. I get in my own head a lot and doubt myself sometimes, and they steer me back in the right direction. Ryan Sager Racing Engines, for getting us back on track. We would have been here last week, even despite our issues 2 weeks ago. He had us fixed up by Wednesday, so couldn't do this without him. Roosted Chassis, Bollinger Builders, Jim Bilger's Garage, Fairweather Farms, JL Logistics and Excavating, Ray's Removal, and Wilson's Outdoor Power. I forgot those 2 the last time we were up here, so I feel bad about that. Purdy Trucking, Bunn Trucking, and all the fans for coming out. We couldn't do this without you guys coming to watch us, so thank you very much.
You going to try to get that semi-late win in that Hub City National next weekend?
I'm coming for it, you better believe it.
All right, that's what I love to hear. Dylan Wilson, a 5-time winner this year, number 2 in points, and he's coming back for the Hub City National next weekend. All right, late model sportsman. Penultimate race for the late model sportsman drivers. The Clash by the Creek in 3 weeks, but tonight is a biggie. It's championship night here at the capital of dirt track racing. Again, the 4M of Kyle Moser, the 77 of Randy Burkholder, 2 drivers we normally don't see during the course of the year. They will share the front row, and we get set on championship night. 20 laps for the late model sportsman. And Zach Kaufman quickly trying to dive it down as low as he can, but here comes DJ Myers, 2 by 2 and 3 wide back there for 5th position. As Shoemaker tries to get up towards the front of the field as quickly as he can. Lear in the middle of that sandwich as they work off at turn number 4. It's going to be Randy Burkholder leading lap number 1.
9, you're clear to
in
come
second
down.
spot.
99,
One
you're
driver
clear to
off
come
the
down.
pace in turn 4. Looks to be the 99C of Kyle Lear. And caution quickly out on the track. 1 lap is complete. Zach Kaufman, Andy Freese, he'll wind up in row number 3. Kyle Lear and Wes Bonebrake back in row 4. Zook and Booz, they are in the top 5 rows as we get set to go back to green. Field thundering off turn 4, and here goes Burkholder trying to stay at the point. And a 3-wide battle almost made by Shoemaker. He's on the high side of Myers. Here comes Lear down to the bottom side. He is working top side. He got jammed up and Zook took advantage. That will move him up in the top 5 right now, but trouble with 2 drivers down to the bottom side. Caution quickly back out. Still at the point. Myers and Shoemaker. Nothing's changed as we get set to go back to green. 2 of Dan Zeckman, the 99C of Cody Lear, rejoining the field at the rear as we get set for green coming off of turn number 4. And this time Moser with a good jump on the outside of Randy Burkholder, who also gets swallowed up by the 70 of DJ Myers. He's down to the bottom side. He'll grab the number 1 spot. Shoemaker high side. He'll go 3rd. Here comes Lear down to the bottom side to the inside of Freese and Burkholder. Minimal 3-wide battle for the moment, and it's going to be Lear up into 4th. As the leaders make their way back, Shoemaker around Moser. That will put the point leader up into 2nd spot. 2 of Dan Zeckman heads off into the pit area as DJ Myers, your leader at lap number 2. Shoemaker in 2nd. Kyle Lear, Ryan Zook, and Kyle Moser for the moment the top 5. Here comes Andy Freese to the bottom side of the 82. He'll move up into number 5 position for the moment. Off at turn 4. Behind him, Brian Booz, Kyle Moser, Wes Bonebrake, Randy Burkholder, Danny Atherton, and also the 08 is Zach Kaufman. Zook is on the move. He powers to the inside of Kyle Lear down the back straightaway. That's the battle for 3rd. Not done yet. Lear likes the high side likewise, but it's going to be Zook winning the battle down low. And the number 2 point man now right up behind the point leader, Shoemaker, as they come back for lap number 4. All the while, DJ Myers in the 70. He's got himself about a 7 to 8 car length advantage. It'll be Shoemaker, Zook, and Lear, followed by Brian Booz, the top 5. Freese back in 6th, Bonebrake in 7th, Atherton in 8th. The battle for 9th is going to be the drivers that were up on the front row. That's going to be Burkholder and Moser, as they're struggling to stay in the top 10 right now. Zook closing on Shoemaker. He's got that car hooked up as he works off at turn number 2. Pulls it within a car length down the back straightaway. Top 6 machines pretty much about a car length separation, and they got a gap back to the next car in line. That's going to be Bonebrake running in 7th position. Atherton still holding on to 8th as the leaders make their way back. Lap number 6 and going to be the 14 heading off into the pit area. That's going to be the Matt Adams machine. And Zook to the inside of Shoemaker. Top 2 in points. Battle it out here in turn 3 and 4. Myers brings them back for lap number 7. For the moment, Shoemaker is going to hold on to 2nd. Zook in 3rd. Lear about 3 car lengths back in the number 4 position, but Zook continues to chip away at that bottom side, and this time he's got the run down the back straightaway. Going to be Zook by a half car length in front of Shoemaker. And much like for Steve Kent, who was the points leader coming in, he wanted to keep his eyes on Dylan Wilson, who won that semi-lane race. Same for Shoemaker. He'd love to pick up a victory. And trouble, meanwhile, for a driver coming off at turn number 2. One driver off the pace and coming slowly to a stop. Caution is out here at lap number 8. For your main event, you can make your way to the staging area. Pure stock drivers, for your main event, you can make your way to the staging area. by the halfway point here at tonight's 20-lap late model sportsman feature. It's been a great one, battling right throughout the field. 2 and 3 wide battles as DJ Myers brings him back to the stripe. Ryan Zook right at the tire tracks. And Lear looking to go into third on the outside of Shoemaker. So Myers down low. He'll pull him off at turn number 4 and trouble again in turn number 1. And 3 cars involved. Looks like the 12 of Charlie Schaefer. 41 of Moser also involved down there. Feature winner. He's not done tonight. He's going to jump into UMP Modified, but he wants to see if he can secure his second late model sportsman win. The only other driver that has done the double has been the 151 of Kyle Lear, and he's back there in 4th position. Well versed to see if he can still get that 3rd victory. Meanwhile, green flag back in the air for lap number 9. Zook has been working that low side. Obviously has to start on the high side on this restart, but it's going to be Myers down bottom grabbing the spot. Zook in second. Lear around the 44 Shoemaker. Brian Booz of the B2. Another strong run. He was strong a few weeks ago when Austin Warrenfeld's won. Closing the gap, but just couldn't close the deal. And right now he finds himself right up in the thick of the battle again. He's working down to the low side of Kyle Lear. He tucks in line behind him. Shoemaker, he's fallen back into the number 5 position. Andy Freese and Wesley Bonebreak right there in the backside of that top 5 of the top 10. Halfway on the board, this time by for DJ Myers. So Zook is second. Shoemaker now in a battle. He's got Andy Freese to the inside, and here comes Wesley Bonebreak with a good run down the back straightaway. That's the battle for 5th. 3 wide as they come off turn number 4. And it's going to be Shoemaker on the outside, but he could be plucked off a couple more spots. Holding on for dear life while Ryan Zook is trying to close the gap up in the points. Right now it's Shoemaker. They stay 3 wide off turn number 2, but now Bonebreak breaks that tie, and he takes over the number 5 position. Leaders off turn number 4. 12 laps complete this time by Myers by 2 car lengths over Zook. Another 5 or 6 back to Kyle Lear in 3rd. Booz holding on to the 4th spot. And then a gap back to that 5th place battle. Bonebreak holds on to it. Andy Freese back in 6th. Shoemaker in 7th. Jacob Piper 8th. Danny Atherton, Scott Palmer, they're the top 10 as we complete lap number 13. Pure Stocks for your main event to the staging area. Pure Stocks for your main event to the staging area, please. Booz finally completes that pass on Lear. The B2 down to the bottom side. As the 80 to Barry Miller parks it in the infield area. We come back for lap number 14. And Brian Booz, a new 3rd place runner. Lear in 4th. Going to be Freese and Bonebreak side by side as they continue a great battle for the number 5 position. Then the 44 is Sean Shoemaker back in 7th. Atherton still in 8th. Jacob Piper 9th, and Scott Palmer the top 10. 5 laps to go here in tonight's late model sportsman main event. It's either Myers for his 2nd or Zook for his 1st, and he wants it bad. Single file for many of the positions. You're going to go all the way back to about maybe 8th or 9th, and that's where Atherton gets around the Jacob Piper machine, or they have a battle going right now. 86 is Scott Palmer, rounding out the top 10 here at lap number 16. But the closest is for the lead, and that's where Ryan Zook shadowing DJ Myers. About a couple of car length separation. Myers some good exit speed and getting a good bite off those corners. Zook able to close up in the corners just a little bit more. As they come back for 3 laps to go, it's still a 2-car length advantage for the top 2. Booz remains in 3rd. Lear, Freese, and Bonebreak, the top 6. Maybe a lap car or 2, possibly. Tyler Bowman, 79, coming off of turn number 4. He's keeping it down low as the leader's right behind him by about 10 or 15 car lengths. 2 to go. The indication that time by for DJ Myers. Booz trying to close and make it a 3-car battle, but time is running out. A lap and a half away from tonight's late model sportsman checkered flag. And the 99C of Cody Lear is high in the banking in turn number 4. Caution is on the speedway. We are far from over in tonight's late model sportsman main event. All right now as our point system goes, if it ended right now like this, Sean Shoemaker would still be able to hold on to that championship, even though Ryan Zook has got him by a few cars. As we get set to get back to green, it's going to be a 2-lap dash to the finish. And Shoemaker not done. He goes back to the inside of Wes Bonebrake. He doesn't want Zook to get too far away from him. And here comes Zook down to the inside, chipping away on that rear quarter panel of DJ Myers, a lap and a half away from tonight's late model sportsman checkered flag. Down to the bottom is DJ Myers, hugging that guardrail, swings it wide, comes back, white flag in the air, car length advantage over Ryan Zook. Meanwhile, Sean Shoemaker has dropped back a little bit, but not enough, as DJ Myers opens up a 3-4 car length advantage in turn 3 and 4. And as they come off at turn 4, the second time this year, DJ Myers checks into late model sportsman victory lane at Hagerstown. Zook will come home second. Kyle Lear, Brian Booz, and Andy Freese, they'll be the top 5. Wesley Bonebrake, Sean Shoemaker, Danny Atherton, Ray Cable moving into late model sportsmen tonight, and Jacob Piper, they will be the top 10. So basically with Ryan Zook's second place finish and Sean Shoemaker in 7th, it looks like unofficially Shoemaker has secured his late model sportsman championship tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway, but not without effort by Ryan Zook, who put on the pressure as best he could. Vying for a championship, but DJ Myers comes away with the late model sportsman win for the second time in 2024 here at Hagerstown Speedway. Getting some well wishes from some youngsters down here. The Myers clan, possibly. DJ, they're not easy, and boy, you had a hornet's nest coming behind you. Ryan Zook was so hungry, he wanted to see what he could do to win that championship. But what a great race up front for you guys.
Yeah, starting spot tonight was a big factor in the whole race. My dad was telling me they were there. I mean, at the beginning of the race, we had a little bit of room, but they're at the end, they closing up, and I was trying to just burn good laps, cut good times, you know. This place is very tough. I mean, we got one earlier in the year here, and we've been struggling with this car a little bit, but we've been running in the top 5, and we're very pleased with that. I want to thank all my sponsors, Hammer Down Customs, Chaparral Tavern, Black Jacket Conditions, Fryco, Colby, and his daddy Ron, Hershey's Racing Engines, and Cunningham's Auto Body. Thank my wife Nicole and my kids Jalen and Wyatt. They're here this evening, and it's very rarely that my mom comes to the races, and she's here tonight.
There's Mom, all right.
So she gets her picture taken.
Well, I tell you what, let's go back to that first victory, because I think it was the very next week you had to go through the consi. Now, you may have had some problems, obviously, earlier in the night, but again, that talks and speaks, including tonight, the toughness of this late model sportsman class. On top one week, next week, you got to go through the consi to get in.
Yeah, I said that to you the week we won down here, that, you know, it just doesn't work that way all the time. This class is very competitive. You got to work very hard at it. Limited motor, and everybody else has got the good equipment, you know. And so you got to try to keep fooling with it. And that's what we did here this evening, what we learned last weekend racing at Bedford and Port Royal. We had a better idea of what this car is like, and we run it only 10 times this year, finished 4 races, and was lucky enough. Now this is the 5th race, we've won 2 with it. I'm not complaining, but it doesn't like certain things at different places.
Now tonight you get to do the double dip. So what's the biggest challenge you know you're going to face? You've already seen what the track conditions are here now. The pure stocks are going to run. Then you got the modifieds out there. Anything you can learn, I mean, as far as tires, setup, and anything that can give you a little bit of an advantage for that modified race later tonight?
I don't know. We struggle with right now with that, getting into the corner or being loose, a little loose with it. I don't run that car enough. That's the first we run it this year. We wanted to get it out and run it a little bit. I got a better idea, though, how the racetrack is, like you're saying, but to make the right choices or decisions on the car is the biggest thing.
Clash by the Creek coming in a few weeks. Can we see you back here for that one and see if you can break the tie with Kyle Lear and maybe be the 3-time winner this year at Hagerstown?
Yeah, we'll probably be back for that.
All right, DJ, great job tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you. I want to thank all the fans for coming out. The meet and greet was awesome.
All right, DJ Myers, number 2 on the board this year at Hagerstown in late model sportsman action. Right field set to go. 24 set to start. As a 45, a Lincoln Sutphin, the 32, a Tyler Fisher. 15 laps coming up for our pure stock drivers. And it'll be Tyler Fisher from the outside, grabbing that early lead. Fogel in the 88 will join him in second spot. Yonker, the 31, one-time winner last year, one-time winner this year. Can he get that second one? 2x2 racing as they're jumbled up coming off of turn number 4. Who's going to be the leader of lap number 1? Going to be Fogel in the 88. Fisher not yet ready to give up. A trouble high in the groove. Going to be Sutphin. One of the cars spinning. Looks like Yonker's 31. No, it's somebody else. Possibly is it Keith Reed? Alongside the 9 of Jason Wilkins. 1 of 15 in the books as we get set to get back to green. Field back in 1 and 2. Going to be Fogel down to the bottom side. Yonker joins him, and Faust tries to go a groove lower, maybe inside the guardrail that time, as he really had it low. But now he gets it wound up. He's side by side. The past 2 winners are side by side, and they almost swallow up the leader off of turn number 4. Fogel comes back to the stripe. He's the leader. Going to be Yonker on the outside. Faust to the bottom side. Then the 9 of Jason Wilkins, and the 32 of Tyler Fisher. The early top 5 here at lap 2. Reed in the 8. He's well within striking distance likewise. He's right there with Fisher, fighting hard to keep his points lead. 30 of Sumption, the 06 of Hutton, then the 17L of Lindenberg. Then the battle for 10th, Bill Ecton Jr. in the 57 to the outside of Danny Walters as Fogel leads him back for lap 3. Tight battle, going to be Yonker and Faust side by side. Wilkins is there right likewise. Top 4 drivers in a great battle. 3 wide off turn 2. And Wilkins may get the better of it. They are going to close right up on the Nick Fogel machine, the leader, and Faust tries to draw ahead through the middle as they work off at turn 4. Fogel can't break away from this 3 wide battle. They are right there on his rear bumper, and he can't escape. Going to be Faust moving up into second spot now. And it's going to be Yonker going top shelf, and trouble right in front of him. A driver had spun looking the wrong way. Everybody trying to avoid high and low. 25 of Will Gagby right in a bad spot in the middle of the track, looking the wrong way off turn number 2 as the leaders were bearing down. Fogel now has a new playmate on the high side. That's going to be the 78, the 6-time feature winner, Evan Faust. Wilkins and Yonker, they've been in an intense battle. Then Reed and Hutton make up row number 3. 4 of our 15 are complete. Fogel almost left that door open. Wilkins looked like he wanted to go to the inside, and they go back to green. Heading off into turn number 1 and 2, and it's going to be Faust trying to use that high side bite and get around for that number 1 position. Fogel not going to let him go just yet. Wilkins by his lonesome in third. Going to be Reed and Yonker side by side for the number 4 position as they come back for lap number 5. Faust will grab the lead off turn 4. And now Keith Reed, the 3-time winner. He's trying to just see if he can keep Faust in his sights. He has a substantial lead coming into the event. And right now he's battling Hutton for the number 5 position off turn 2, and will grab that down the back chute. Wilkins, meanwhile, trying to get around Fogel and move up into the number 2 position. They're side by side at the stripe. Yonker holding on to 4th, and Reed and Hutton still side by side for 5th. Bill Ecton Jr. in the 57 holding on to the 7th spot. Cody Sumption back in 8th. Going to be the 32W of Thompson back there, or make it Wilson back there in the number 9 spot. 17 of Lindenberg in 10th as they come back for lap number 7, closing in on halfway of tonight's 15-lap main event. Top 3 pretty much secure, single file. Going to be Faust, Wilkins, and Fogel. And now it's Yonker winning the battle with Reed down the back chute. They stay single file as Reed had broken away from the 06 of Hutton. Now Hutton kind of fighting back on the outside. Reed trying to move up one more notch as he came off at turn 2. Had a good run on Yonker, who stays way high. And now Hutton joins that battle as well. He'll run the middle line. And here goes Reed down to the bottom as well. But Yonker has it wound up enough to hold on to the number 4 position for the moment. And that 3-wide battle continues, not completely side by side, but they are well within striking distance of one another, having a good battle back there for 4th on back. Meanwhile, Faust bringing it back to the strike. 5 laps to go this time. Working some slower traffic off at turn number 2. UMP Modifieds for your main event. You can make your way to the staging area. UMP Mods for your main event to the staging area, please. Well, Faust in control as he works it off at turn number 4. Lap number 11 going on the board this time by. Still Jason Wilkins in second. Fogel holding on to third. Reed still in the Hornet's Nest. He gets around Yonker and now moves up into 4th. Hutton in the 06, he's having a good run. He is back in 5th, followed by Yonker. 57 to Bill Ecton Jr. Also has joined that battle back in 7th. Cody Sumption holding on to 8th. Carter Shank 9th on the track right now. And the 32 of Tyler Fisher rounding out the top 10 with 3 laps to go.
Yellow, yellow. Stay low going into 3. Stay low going into 3.
Trouble on the backstretch. That's where the 17 yellow Randy Lindenberg sits, looking the wrong way. In 2 laps to go here in tonight's feature event, and Jason Wilkins takes the lead from the outside. Powers around the 78 of Evan Faust. Didn't have the luxury of side-by-side restart that time. He had to go single file, and he went and did it. Driver that's won our Eric Johnson tribute in the past and been a strong contender in pure stock action, working down the back straightaway. A couple of cars having troubles off at turn number 4, gather it back in. The 03 of Danny Walters. Faust going up the banking, and he loses several more car lengths as the white flag comes out for Jason Wilkins. Looking to become the 5th different winner in pure stock action as he gets to this time of year, and I'm sure a candidate for a heavy chance of winning next weekend's national event. Jason Wilkins, when it comes to the biggies, he's a tough one. And Wilkins at the number 9 coming away with a pure stock win. Continued troubles for Evan Faust. He free fell a couple of more spots. The 80 to Nick Fogel coming home in 2nd. The 8 of Keith Reed will wind up 3rd. Faust to the 78 4th, and the 31 of Nathaniel Yonker will be the top 5. And that will give Keith Reed the pure stock championship for 2024. There he is, our winner tonight in pure stock action, Jason Wilkins in the number 9 machine, picking up his first pure stock action in 2024 here at the Hagerstown Speedway. And just like everybody else, right in the middle of a hornet's nest, the driver's vying for a championship. Take me through that restart right at the very end, because you didn't get the double file. You had to go single file, and all of a sudden, something worked on that outside. But what was going on?
Yeah, man, I never thought I was going to catch him. If it wasn't for the caution, he'd be up here right now. Me and Evan were good friends, and hats off to that dude. He's had an awesome year, a lot of bitching and whining because he's doing good, but the boys in the garage Monday through Saturday working on that car. And that's why he's out front.
Well, tell us about yourself, because this was a big event. I mean, obviously in the form of being a championship night. I know you're not involved in the championship, but when it comes to big events, you always seem to be the cream that rises to the top. You've won some pretty high-profile events here at Hagerstown Speedway.
Yeah, I wanted to run for points this year, but we didn't get the car done, and I blew up a motor last week, and just put the motor in this week, and just nothing worked out good enough for us to run over here full year. But next year we'll be over here and give it a shot.
Well, let's stop short of next year. We're going to see you next weekend.
Oh, definitely. We'll be back.
All right. Jason, who would you like to thank tonight?
I got to thank my dad and Gary and his son tonight. They've been down here helping me, but I got a lot of sponsors. Anthony's Pizza, CR Racing Supply, Warren Lee Construction, Fast Storage for You, R&R Painting, Harding Graphics, ARC Racing, True Form Race Products, TK's Towing, DK Speed Cuts, Anthony's Pizza, WTR Trucking Repair. Man, I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but it takes every one of them to get us out here.
Well, you look beat to death. You almost look like you finished dead last in the race tonight. What's wrong?
Starting 12th with them. There's some fast cars here, and I'm just not having the year I had last year. I won 16 times last year. This is my second one this year. It's been a rough year, man. I'm just glad to be back in victory lane.
A late season bloomer this year. We're looking forward to seeing you back here next week, and I'm sure you're going to be right up in the front.
We're going to put her to the pedal.
All right, Jason Wilkins, your winner tonight in pure stock action. Very good performance tonight as he takes his first of the year. All right, UMP Modified will wrap things up tonight here at the Speedway in their 20-lap event. The 2P of Mike Pappas and the 25 of Mike Corbin will be starting up front. All right, field is set. Mike Pappas and Mike Corbin up on that front row. 34, Cody Williams. 18 to Rick Olson back in row number 2. 20 laps of distance. Once again, second to last appearance by the UMP Mods. They'll be here for the Clash by the Creek September 28th with the IMC Race Saver Sprints and Late Model Sportsman's. Right now, they're looking for their latest 20 laps of action. And here they come off turn 4. Oh, green is out. Corbin will grab the lead on the outside from Pappas. Cable in the number 90 quickly up into third, but he's got Williams on the outside. Spike Moore, the two-time winner, down bottom. Leaders coming by to complete lap number 1. And Corbin will show the way. Cable quickly muscling his way up into the number 2 position, trying to close that gap very quickly. 34 of Cody Williams up into third. Altobelli of the 95. He moves to fourth. It's going to be Spike Moore in fifth as the 2 of Pappas started up on that front row, but now falling outside the top 5. Now under attack by the 55C of Cody Oliver, who also gets around him. And Cable quickly to the bottom side. Car has looked great all night long off the trailer. And Ray Cable moves that 90 up into the number 1 spot. Going to be Altobelli around Williams. He'll move up into third as Moore looks on back from the number 5 position, and we come back for lap 3. And now Altobelli beginning to chew away underneath the 25 of Mike Corbin as Cable begins to try and check out. Altobelli moves up into second spot. Moore to the outside of Cody Williams as he moves up into fourth. Leaders coming back for lap number 4 in tonight's event. Top 5 moving under the stripe once again. 55C of Cody Oliver back there in 6th. Then you've got the 58. That'll be Bo Hickey back in the 7th spot. 2 of Mike Pappas in 8th. Holson, the number 2 points man, in 9th. And top 10 made up by the 7D of TJ DeHaven. Now let's see whether Altobelli can close the gap on Cable as they come back for the 1/4 mark of tonight's 20-lap main event. Cable sticking right down to the bottom of the racetrack in turns number 1 and 2. Altobelli some 7, 8, 9 car lengths back in second spot. Spike Moore, the 8W, another player in this game. The 2-time winner in one on opening night at UMP Modified Action, trying to pick up that 3rd victory of the season. And right now he's on the move on the outside, powering by Altobelli down the front straightaway. And it is going to be indeed Spike Moore trying to get that 2nd spot. Altobelli doesn't let him out of his sights just yet. They stay side by side down into turn 3 and 4. All the while, Cable not able to get away. It looks like actually they're gaining on him by virtue of their battle side by side here at lap 7. Moore does get the second spot. Altobelli now back to third. Cody Williams and Cody Oliver now make up the top 5. Five-car length separation. Cable looking to be the newest winner in UMP action. We mentioned Spike Moore, a 2-time winner. Mason Ziegler and Drake Troutman. They've also scored UMP Mod victories this year. Jimmy Jesmer Jr., the soon-to-be Mod champion this season. He is a one-time winner, as is Cody Oliver. And Cable holding on for dear life, trying to become the latest one, but Spike Moore closing the gap up big time. He was chewing away in lap 2. Now here in turn number 4, he'll power to the outside, and he has got that car working on the outside line. Give Cable the credit for the lap. But here goes Spike Moore on the outside in turn 1 and 2 as we get close to halfway. Cable again surging off that second turn. He'll stay in front for the moment as they close in on a lap machine down in turn number 3 and 4. Still a good side-by-side battle back to the stripe. Cross flags for halfway. 10 in the books and 10 laps to go here in tonight's UMP Mod main event. And that lap machine just in front of them as they're trying to get around. That's the Ed Vogel car. Moore will lift just a little bit. Cable will go around him on the outside as we begin the second half of tonight's 20-lap main event. Altobelli in the 95. He's still well within striking distance. He'll get around the lap machine of Vogel likewise. And then going to be Cody Williams and Cody Oliver. They are still the top 5. 58 of Bo Akey remains back there in 6th position. Corbin DePolson are back in 9th. Olsen holding on. A little bit further back in the field. Actually, he's in 8th. Corbin in 7th as our leaders make their way back into 1 and 2. Moore tried that move moments ago. It didn't work, and then he kind of lifted it and looked like he let Cable get around that lap machine. And that gave Cable a little bit of a lead. Now Cable's got trouble. He tried to go as low as he could on the lap car of Reese Fenner. And now he's got the 44 of Frank DeBella to deal with. So it wasn't an easy going in turn number 3 and 4 for Cable. And now he tries to stretch it back out by about 5 car lengths down the back straightaway. 14 laps will be completed in the modified main event this time by. Moore still well within striking distance. The 95 of Altobelli remains in 3rd, some 10 car lengths back, as 6 laps remain in tonight's UMP Mod main event. And again, Moore goes back to work. He runs that middle to higher groove. Cable keeping the 90 wound up down low, as it'll be 5 laps to go this time by. And if it stays green flag racing, still possibly some more lap traffic to deal with before this one's over with. Moore continuing to probe around this racetrack on the 90 of Cable, and they are indeed closing in on some more lap traffic down in turn number 3 and 4. 27 of Vance Williams may be the next car in line as they come back for lap number 16. 1 car length separation between the top 2. Cable trying to stay on the bottom and work it as best he can. Moore works a little bit better in that middle groove and seems to stick right with him. And now as they come into lap traffic, here goes Moore to the high side. Cable trying to work the lap traffic down low. Who's going to win the battle back to turn number 1? Cable to the inside of Williams, and for the moment, he will still have that lead. But he and Moore almost even as he go back into turn number 1 and 2, and Moore's got some more momentum built. 2 more cars to deal with. And Cable, again, may have an advantage if he can stay underneath and push those lap machines up higher into the path of Spike Moore. Coming back to the stripe, 2 laps to go this time by. And Moore in the back of Cable. They both crash. Moore continues, but Cable turned around. Looked like the 8W got right in the back of the number 90.
90 in the 8W to the rear. 90 in the 8W to the rear.
Finish tonight for our modifieds as our leaders got tangled in some lap traffic, unfortunately, and there it continues on. Bad sportsmanship, and that's not what we want to see here at the Speedway for our fans or other drivers. As the 90 of Ray Cable and also the 8W of Spike Moore both head off into the pit area. By virtue of the post-green activities, both of those drivers are sent into the infield area. Now, Altobelli looking to begin the latest new winner in modified action, the 55C of Cody Oliver in second spot. 34 of Cody Williams. He'll be third on the restart as we go back to green. Altobelli has been very stout this season in modified competition, and right now he stretches out the advantage down the back straightaway by some 4 or 5 car lengths. White flag will be in the air tonight for Altobelli. Final lap of the 95, working down low off of turn number 2. The 55C of Cody Oliver didn't have the 90 wanted initially, but then continued to chip away. And the one-time winner is going to end up possibly in the number 2 finishing position as he worked off at turn number 4. The final lap of the night going to be Mike Altobelli checking in for his first UMP Mod win here at the Hagerstown Speedway. 55C, the one-time feature winner Cody Oliver coming home in second spot. 58 of Bo Akey will wind up third. 34 Cody Williams and the 25 of Mike Corbin will end up being your top 5 this evening. A lot of different winners of modified action. There he is, Mike Altobelli. Big winner tonight, and the man that had the bird's eye view of a crazy finish. Well, almost a crazy finish, 2 laps from the end, but doesn't matter, Mike, you were right in the hunt there as well. You've had yourself a daggone good season. A lot of good modified wins, a lot of great competition this year.
Yeah, I felt like we had a third place car tonight. Spike and Ray were racing really hard there. Just you get lap traffic like that, you know, you're doing everything you can to win the race. So that's a bummer for them guys, but we'll take it.
I know Ray was working, he liked the low side. Spike seemed to be working middle to high. What was the best group for you? What worked best for you even when you got into lap traffic?
Whatever I could get the car to turn in. Like I felt I was really tight running the bottom, so I tried to move up a little bit, and I was even tighter up there. So if I could get the car to rotate, I was pretty good, but I had to hit it just right getting in. But oh no, we'll take it. Good night. Thankful for my crew, Jerry, Travis, Chad. My daughter, my sponsors, Dan's Auto Body, Gunner's Honey, Rick Still Surveying, Rick Potter, Lethal Chassis, Willie's Carburetor, RO Installation, my wife, kids, Rachel. I think that's everybody.
Well, the season's quickly winding down, but you've been all over the place running a lot of good modified shows here and there. What's left for you as far as the 2024 season? Where can fans see Altobelli racing?
We got a couple of, we got a big one next weekend at Winchester. They get 7,000 to win down there, and then we got a big one at Bedford yet, 10,000 to win. Oh, Natural Bridge, we got another one yet. And I think we go somewhere else after that.
You're covering all your bases, okay? Mike, great job. Great to see you here tonight.
I want to tell Jimmy congratulations, too, on his championship. That's pretty cool. He's pretty stoked.
Absolutely. Mike, thank you so much for being here tonight. We wish you the best the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Altobelli coming away with the championship victory tonight. Not the championship, but the 747 of Jimmy Jesmer Jr. Not Junior. We got to go the third. We got to go third generation. Why am I saying Junior? Because I was used when I was announcing him. Well, you're Junior, aren't you? Okay. I know it's been some tough going for you in some ways, but you know what? You stuck it out. You were the model of perseverance all season long, and you won this championship. How did you feel?
I feel kind of down right now because this is the third motor we worked this year. I mean, it's what I wanted. I definitely wanted to come out here and compete for a championship. The biggest thing for me is I was competitive. You know what I mean? And that's all I want to do. I want want to show up to the racetrack, be competitive. And we did that. Now, it just sucks that we got a bunch of boat anchors in the garage now. But
It does happen, but I mean, you're sitting here with a championship. I mean, there was a lot of other drivers that probably would kind of wish they were in the same spot you are right now, standing here with a Hagerstown Speedway championship.
absolutely, I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by the people that I'm surrounded by, and you know, just I can't say enough.
You know, I'm telling on myself age-wise because obviously I remember your dad racing because I remember running at Potomac, but then your mom had to remind me how old I am, and we go back to the Freddie Crickbaum days of Dorsey Speedway. All right, so my last year, or their last year of 1985, I was working there, so that seems like another lifetime ago. Freddie probably feels the same way for you as well. Come in here for a second. Freddie Crickbaum was a legendary racer, another one of those synonymous names at Dorsey Motor Speedway, a legendary facility. What do you think of this young man and what he's been able to accomplish this year?
I am so proud of this guy doing this all on his own. Just got the backing of his family. If somebody could just step up and give this man a good sponsorship, he can prove that he's a racer. I am so proud of him.
Model perseverance and a good emotion there as well. And that's what I love to see. Jimmy Jesper Jr., your champion in the UMP mods this year here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Great job, Mo. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.